Welcome to English 4E. This is class 27. Today we are looking at assignment K33, which is about understanding a manual. Today is Wednesday, the 3rd, April 2024, and I am Jillian Percy. As always, put the contact information first so you can find it easily. Facebook and YouTube are the same, capital G, capital P, E-R-C-Y, space, capital W-A-H-S-A. My email is jillian.percy@nnecschools.org if you have a question about an assignment. If you want to talk to me while I'm on air, 1-800-465-7144. I think what else? Office number is 1-800-667-3703, and my extension is 2211. Send any work to studentwork@nnec.on.ca. Always include your name, the course name, the assignment number and name, and if there's a rough and a good copy required for the assignment, please label which is which. They often have different marking schemes and different amount of marks going to them. And I usually compare them to see if there's been revisions and stuff. So I need to have both at once if possible, please. Okay. Today's work. Today we're going to understand the purposes of a manual, understand what a technical document is, understand the different sections or parts of a manual, and understand the concept of a warranty. Okay. So there's a lot of jokes about not reading the manual. So why are we even bothering to read the manual? Well, this, hang on. Oh, okay. This farm did a little video on this issue, which I thought was really very informative. Sorry, there's always kind of a delay when PowerPoint sort of links into the internet here. This is from Larson's Farms. They have a lot of very funny videos, actually. Click. Sorry, guys. While I'm waiting for that to log in, sometimes you'll see a manual called a user guide or instruction manual or operating instructions or all those kind of things. They all are the same kind of idea. Oh, gee. Okay. Let me see if I can get it this way.
Well, welcome back, guys. On today's episode of Larson Farms, we are learning about a Geringhoff head. So basically, any new piece of equipment you learn, how do you learn? By doing it and by the owner's manual. Do you want to explain what just happened?
We about got shot by a flying piece of metal. Well, it's over there now.
It's under here, and it was compressed by this spring. Look at how long that is.
Brody, you almost got hit. You were about to walk by. I was. You know, they had Loctite on these things. I wondered maybe we shouldn't be taking them out.
This is why you read the owner's manual before starting to take stuff apart.
Oh, let's do another one.
Okay. So obviously the guy didn't read the manual and unfortunately had metal flying and almost injuring people because they hadn't bothered to read the manual ahead of time to understand how to do something safely, or maybe that part didn't need to be touched at all. Okay. So a manual is basically a handbook providing the necessary information and instructions for doing something. For example, a digital photography manual will provide an introduction to the equipment and some creative techniques of digital photography. It outlines and then describes in detail items needed and procedures required. The graphics here on this page, I've got one here and one on the next page, are the front covers of manuals. Both manuals contain many pages of information. So the one you see here is the Bell Express View manual, and it talks about installation instructions and how to use it. Manuals are normally lengthy documents with a wealth of mainly technical material requiring a reader with a lot of patience to go through in order to understand all that is involved in some process. Most people presumably are interested in certain aspects only and would tend to read and examine perhaps only a few pages of a manual. It is surprising that there would be so much to know about operating a digital camera and exploring digital photography. Okay. Sometimes you're going to see the word manual, and other times you might see the word instructions on the cover. Information concerning safety is normally found at the very beginning of most documents to stress its importance, and therefore should most definitely be adhered to before anything else is even considered. With this example, the table of contents is found on page 6. You will notice as well that this particular instruction manual, we're going to be looking at that in a minute, contains more than 76 pages. Although the whole manual is not presented here today, you'll get the idea about the sophistication of a digital camera. Perhaps you own one already, so you can appreciate why a manual is necessary. It is indeed a product with a technical side. In general, anything electronic nowadays is especially technical. As well, information concerning a product's warranty is always found with any instruction manual to let a consumer know what insurance coverage or guarantee is provided by a manufacturer in the event that the product does not work the way it should. For, in other words, that it's defective in the materials or in the workmanship. A warranty is a built-in element of protection for the consumer that you should be aware of and take full advantage of if need be. So here is a sample warranty from Sunny Canada. It's a 1-year warranty. And you can see they've listed all the things that this warranty applies to. So it's not specific to only one product. It's a little bit fuzzy. I'm not sure where that's not me, that's how it came. It's subject to the conditions set forth below that should this product be defective by reason of improper workmanship or materials during its specified warranty period, Sony will repair the same, affecting all necessary parts, replacements without charge for either parts or labor. Labor from 1 year of the original purchase, parts 1 year from the original purchase date. And there's kind of a little caveat here. There's one thing, thermal head, I'm not sure what that is, that they'll only cover for 90 days, which is kind of funny. And then here's all the conditions. Registration, it's pretty typical these days. There'll be like a little registration card, and you either have to mail it in or go online and officially register that you are the owner of the product. And a lot of times they won't honor the warranty unless you've filled in that registration card. So especially if you've bought something expensive, it's worthwhile to go ahead and put in the registration. Unauthorized repair or abuse. Unauthorized repair could be like if you messed around with it and tried to fix it and did a poor job and then messed things up further. But it can also be like sometimes there's authorized repair shops for certain places, right? And they're authorized to handle Sony products. And if you took it to a different repair shop, but they weren't an authorized dealer, then that might also count as an unauthorized repair. And then again, if they messed up, sometimes the company won't cover that either. Okay. It's kind of listing things that they won't cover. And then proper delivery, it has to be shipped properly if you're going to do that. Proof of date of purchase, so you want to hang on to your receipt. A lot of the other stuff is kind of little, and I really can't quite read that. It's too fuzzy. But that's an example of a warranty. I grabbed another one that was a little more clear just because that one was so fuzzy. This is a comprehensive 2-year warranty from Design Kingston Remodeling. In the first 2 years, the Kingston client receives a full service warranty that covers all materials and workmanship during that period. 1 and 2 year site visits will take place in order to check and repair any minor problems such as nail pops. If an emergency issue arises, the client can connect with a Kingston representative for immediate dispatch or referral to the appropriate trade contractor, but always under the Kingston auspices. In other words, you can't just like call your local person and then send Kingston the invoice, right? They won't pay it. It has to be somebody, again, they've approved. The Kingston team will back up any manufacturer's warranty for replacement of faulty equipment with a service warranty for installation. The client is assured that if a manufacturer supplies a defective part, Kingston will arrange a no-charge installation of the warranty replacement. Additionally, as contact with national companies can be a hassle, we will take the appropriate action to represent a client to such entities for the purposes of assuring compliance with any and all regular or extended warranties of items purchased and installed by our firm. For the lifetime of the project, we will make ourselves available to be the company to call for service by being available, reasonable, and committed to collaborative problem solving on a timely basis. We are dedicated to making products for life. We take the initiative to follow up with you over the course of the 2 years to ensure your satisfaction. Okay, so the difference between, how do they put it, materials versus workmanship. So material would be like, say there's, I don't know, a computer chip and it's not formatting properly. Okay, so they'll replace the computer chip. Workmanship would be like if somehow the factory didn't screw things on properly or stripped a screw, or in some way when they made it, however they made a mistake, then they'll fix that kind of thing too. You have to read warranties carefully. Sometimes they'll cover one thing, like the workmanship, but they might not cover the materials, or it might be the opposite. Sometimes you'll get very short warranties that really, like 90-day warranties or whatever, that may not last even the length of it. There's kind of a running joke of items breaking down the moment the warranty ends, right? Okay, you can also get video versions of operating manuals, which are helpful for some people, especially if there's a lot of action. So here's one. It's kind of an old-fashioned one, but again, let me see if I can get it to come up. It's this is how you used to do Visa cards, right? You had to manually.
This video has been prepared to show you how to use your flatbed 4850 imprinter. This imprinter is designed to hold various types of merchant plates. Place the plate over the pre-drilled holes to determine where the plate will be affixed. Insert the merchant plate under the mounting screw heads. Tighten the screws when the plate has been positioned properly. If you have a plastic breakaway plate, break off the tabs and position the plate. Position the customer's credit card on the imprinter base. Press the top of the card down, ensuring it is held firmly between the card guides. Position the charge slip to be imprinted over the credit card by inserting the slip from left to right under the slip holders. The left side of the charge slip is positioned under this holder, and if you are using a 51-column charge slip, the right side is positioned under this holder. If you are using an 80-column charge slip, the right side is positioned under this holder. Move the handle to the right with a quick, firm motion to imprint the credit card data. Return the handle to the start position to imprint the merchant plate data. Remove the imprinted charge slip and credit card. The transaction is complete and you're ready to take another imprint. For detailed operating instructions, call 1-800-431-2682 or visit our website at www.imprinters.com. This video has been prepared.
Okay, so before we did everything on those nice handy little handheld debit credit machines, this is how you would have handled a credit card, right? The merchant, the store owner, would have had their own little imprint of their name, their information. You'd hand them the credit card. That's why credit cards were raised, right? And then they would jump this thing over and it would press all your credit card information onto one of those slips. Sorry, it's taking a minute. There we go. Okay, a manual's main purpose is to inform. Technology is playing a big role in the creation of products that are ever more complex in design and functioning. A good manual certainly helps to shed some light, at least on this complexity. There's usually a manual for the operation of any type of product or service, and you've most likely browsed through one occasionally yourself. It is important, though, that you see the importance of any type of manual and its purpose to inform. Health and safety. Manuals are a form of technical communication, and you'll find them not only for use at home, but in a variety of workplaces, particularly skilled trades. Electricians and mechanics are examples of people who rely on manuals to perform their jobs. They must have technical expertise, so an ability to understand information contained in a manual is critical to their success. These and many other types of workers also have access to health and safety manuals, which provide information and outline rights and responsibilities concerning health and safety in the workplace. After all, for people working, there must be assurance that the work environment is a healthy and safe one. So here is a site that shows the legal responsibilities that you have in different types of situations. So then you've got health, WMIS, first aid, occupational health, heat stress, cold stress, back care, materials handling, molds, and radiation. So here, this is talking about all the different types of equipment people might use on a job. Personal protective equipment, eye protection, head protection, foot protection, hearing protection, all these different kinds of things. And then if you clicked on that, you'd get a document that would come up. Some of them are quite short, like only 2 or 3 pages. Some of them can be like 66 pages long. So here, this is a little chapter on hearing protection. Many construction tasks produce noise. Typical construction work may involve equipment driven by large and small engines, metal fabrication, power drilling and sawing, air hammering and blasting, all of which can produce noise at harmful levels. Depending on the noise level, duration of exposure, and other factors, a temporary or permanent hearing loss may result. Temporary hearing loss will usually be restored by the body within a few hours after the exposure is stopped. Hearing loss that cannot be restored by the body over any length of time is termed permanent. Noise exposure hazards. Over time, exposure to noise can cause the following problems: noise-induced hearing loss, tinnitus, which is like a ringing in the ears, high blood pressure, fatigue. Noise-induced hearing loss is the most common occupational disease suffered by construction workers in Ontario. It often happens gradually, so workers may not realize that loud noise from their job is damaging their hearings. By the time they do realize that it's too late, the damage is permanent and can't be reversed. That's why protecting the hearing of workers must be part of a company's health and safety program. And then it talks about new noise regulations, how to measure different noise levels. Um, talks about how noise levels can't be added like other numbers. 2 noise sources producing 90 decibels each would have a combined output of 93 decibels, not 180 decibels. The combined output is actually a doubling of the intensity. In many construction situations, several different sources each contribute to the overall noise. This means that a worker's exposure might be much higher than it would be if only one of the sources were present. So if a backhoe produces 90 decibels of noise, the worker who's standing nearby is also exposed to those 90 decibels. And then it goes on to all the different things that you need to take care of in order to protect your hearing. Okay, it also talks about different types of hazards, multiple pages on safety procedures, laws, how to handle propane, how to handle asbestos, water, ice, traffic control, electrical hazards. Here it talks about all the ways, like defines what an electrical hazard is, and it talks about, I like this, an electrical hazard is considered to be removed when protective measures are put in place of the source. In other words, you've removed the hazard or de-energized or along the path, placed an electrical insulation or barrier between the worker and the electrical hazard. Where PPE, personal protective equipment, is relied upon for worker protection, an electrical hazard is considered to remain, and it is still necessary to address safety requirements for other workers in the area. So just because, say, this guy is wearing like rubber gloves that would protect him from electrical hazards, the people around who aren't working directly with the electricity are still going to be exposed to any possible problems. So then it talks about the different regulations, who the workers are that it applies to, different documents you might want to refer to. So these are all just different ways that workers are protected by these kind of health and safety manuals. Different jobs are going to have, like construction obviously has much more possible hazards for health and safety than, say, working in an office. It also talks specifically about the safe use of different tools, power tools, specialized rigging, helicopter usage. That's awesome. And also the safe use of existing in certain kinds of special locations like pulp and paper mills, steel mills, mineral processing plants, thermal power plants. This one was a little section on explosive power tools, how to identify different types of cartridges, how to handle cartridges, gas canisters, little diagram showing you about how to handle ricochet, fastening items in concrete and masonry. So all this kind of stuff is really helpful. Okay. Here's an example of an extra warranty protection. A lot of times for big ticket items like cars, for example, there's a normal warranty that comes with the item, and then you can purchase an extra warranty that will provide longer coverage, like for more years, or that will provide specific types of coverage that the normal warranty doesn't cover. So here it talks about Mercury product production, factory backed for your protection. Product protection starts where the standard warranty ends. So that's one thing to be mindful of as well. Okay, operating instructions and your manual. This is the cover of the digital photography manual, which we're going to be looking at. It's written by Philip Andrews, and there's a little subheading, an introduction to the equipment and creative techniques of digital photography. The following pages introduce what a person would need to know about a Panasonic digital camera, model number PV-SD5000. You will notice on the cover page the words operating instructions and not the word manual. However, on page 2, you'll see a note, save this operating instruction manual as an operating and information guide. I've fixed this a few times and it keeps coming back for some reason. I don't know why. Graphics are included here and throughout the manual to aid in your understanding of the material. Okay, so now we're coming up. This is the actual manual that all the upcoming questions are going to be based on. Okay, so the other stuff was me just trying to show you the concept. Here is the item you're going to refer to. Okay, this is for key question number 33. Up top, it says things you should know. Attach your purchase receipt here. Remember, we talked about how for the warranties, they are going to require proof that you actually purchased it, that you didn't just steal it, that you didn't buy it at a resale shop, that kind of thing. Date of purchase, dealer purchased from, dealer address, dealer phone number, model number, serial number. Okay. Thanks and congratulations on your purchase of this state-of-the-art Panasonic digital camera. This product has been manufactured and tested to Panasonic's highest standards to give you the best in performance and reliability. Save this operating instruction manual as an operating information guide. Unpack your digital camera. Please confirm that the following items are packed in the digital camera box. And then it lists all the items. One digital camera, one piece of adapter with an AAC cable, one piece of a DC power cable, one piece of a USB cable, an AV cable, lithium ion battery pack, a super disc diskette, camera strap, lens cap, a CD-ROM of the USB driver software for Windows 98 and Macintosh. And another, lens cap and the lens cap holder. Okay. Super disc and the super disc logo are trademarks. Okay, and just kind of listing here that all these things listed are specific trademarks. And then down here, for assistance, please call 1-800-272-7033. Okay, and then it gives all the safety warnings right away. Remember we said that that's the reason for that is because they want to emphasize the safety, right? If they put it at the back, people might not even notice or not get there. When they put it first, it's the first thing people see, so they're more likely to notice it. Warning: to prevent fire or shock hazard, do not expose this equipment to rain or moisture. Note, this equipment has been tested and found to comply with Part 15 of the SCC rules. These limits are designed to provide reasonable protection against harmful interference when operated in a residential environment. If this equipment does cause interference to radio or television reception, which can be determined by turning the equipment off and on, use the equipment in another location, or utilize an electrical outlet different from that used by the receiver. If necessary, consult the dealer or an experienced radio TV technician for help. You may find the booklet, Something About Interference, available from FCC local regional offices helpful. FCC warning. To ensure continued FCC compliance, use only the provided shielded interface cable with ferrite core when connecting digital camera to computer in accordance with instructions herein. Also, any unauthorized changes or modifications to this equipment could void the user's authority to operate. And then it says declaration of conformity, gives you the model number, the trade name, the responsible party, in other words, the company that's made it, the address, the telephone number. This device complies with Part 15 of the FCC rules. Operation is subject to the following two conditions. One, this device may not cause harmful interference. And two, this device must accept any interference received, including interference that may cause undesired operation. Caution, unit is a Class 1 laser product. However, this unit uses a visible laser beam which could cause hazardous radiation exposure if directed. Be sure to operate the unit correctly as instructed. When this unit is plugged to the wall outlet, do not place your eyes close to the opening of the disc tray and other openings to look into the inside of this unit. Use of controls or adjustments or performance of procedures other than those specified herein may result in hazardous radiation exposure. Please do not open covers and do not repair yourself. Refer servicing to qualified personnel. Caution, laser radiation when open, do not stare into beam. And then attention, they say the exact same thing, but it's in French. Okay, important safeguards. Number one, read instructions. All the safety and operating instructions should be read before the unit is operated. Two, retain the instructions. The safety and operating instructions should be retained for future reference. Three, heed warnings. All warnings on the unit and in the operating instructions should be adhered to. Four, follow instructions. All operating and maintenance instructions should be followed. Five, cleaning. Unplug this video unit from the wall outlet before cleaning. Do not use liquid or aerosol cleaners. Use a dry cloth for cleaning. 6, attachments. Do not use attachments not recommended by the video product manufacturer as they may be hazardous. 7, water and moisture. Do not use this video unit near water. For example, near a bathtub, wash bowl, kitchen sink, or laundry tub, in a wet basement or near a swimming pool, and the like. 8, accessories. Do not place this video unit on an unstable cart, stand, tripod, bracket, or table. The video unit may fall, causing serious injury to a child or adult and serious damage to the unit. Use only with a cart, stand, tripod, bracket, or side table recommended by the manufacturer or sold with the video unit. Any mounting of the unit should follow the manufacturer's instructions and should use a mounting accessory recommended by the manufacturer. An appliance and cart combination should be moved with care. Quick stops, excessive force, and uneven surfaces may cause the appliance and cart combination to overturn. Ventilation. Slots and openings in the cabinet are provided for ventilation and to ensure reliable operation of the video unit and to protect it from overheating. These openings must not be blocked or covered. Never place the video unit on a bed, sofa, rug, or other similar surface, or near or over a radiator or a heat register. This video unit should not be placed in a built-in installation such as a bookcase or rack unless proper ventilation is provided or the manufacturer's instructions have been adhered to. 10, power source. The video unit should be operated only from the type of power source indicated on the marking label. If you are not sure of the type of power supply to your home, consult your appliance dealer or local power company. For video units intended to be operated from battery power or other sources, refer to the operating instructions. That sounds kind of funny, but actually like how we do our power plugs in North America is quite different from, say, how they do them in Britain. So they require different types of cords. Grounding or polarization. This video unit may be equipped with either a polarized 2-wire AC line plug. The 2-wire polarized plug will fit into the power outlet only one way. This is a safety feature. If you are unable to insert the plug fully into the outlet, try reversing the plug. If the plug still fails to fit, contact your electrician to replace your obsolete outlet. I love it. They're pointing out that modern homes are built to have those kind of safety features. But for example, my grandparents had a really old home and they renovated the bottom, but they never renovated the attic. So the attic still has these very obsolete outlets, and those kind of special plugs where one side is bigger than the other would not fit up there. So I love that they're firmly putting the blame on the obsolete outlet. Do not defeat the safety purpose of this polarized plug. The 3-wire grounding type plug will fit into a grounding type power outlet. This is a safety feature. If you are unable to insert the plug in the outlet, contact your electrician to replace your obsolete outlet. Do not defeat the safety purpose of the grounding type plug. Some people will do things like cut off a piece, which is insanely unsafe, so do not do that. Number 12, power cord protection. Power supply cords should be routed so they are not likely to be walked on or pinched by items placed upon or against them, paying particular attention to cords of plugs, convenience receptacles, and the point where they exit from the unit. In other words, don't put something heavy on your power cord, like or don't stick a desk right on the power cord that's charging up your camera. That seems obvious, but they have to put it in there. 13, lighting or lightning. Yeah, lightning. Okay. For added protection of this video unit receiver during a lightning storm, or when it is left untended and unused for long periods of time, unplug it from the wall outlet and disconnect the antenna or cable system. This will prevent damage to the video unit due to lightning and power line surges. Overloading. Do not overload wall outlets and extension cords, as this can result in a risk of fire or electric shock. Objects and liquids. Never push objects of any kind into this video unit through openings, as they may touch dangerous voltage points or short out parts that could result in a fire or electric shock. Never spill liquid of any kind into a video unit. Basically, don't stick a knife in the cord issue, right? Servicing. Do not attempt to service this video unit yourself, as opening or removing covers may expose you to dangerous voltage or other hazards. Refer all servicing to qualified service personnel. Ooh, and then a whole bunch more safeguards. Hang on. What am I doing? Okay, we'll get through this. Number 17, damage requiring service. Unplug this video unit from the wall outlet and refer servicing to qualified service personnel under the following conditions. When the power supply cord or plug is damaged, if any liquid has been spilled onto or objects have fallen into the video unit, if the video unit has been exposed to rain or water, if the video unit does not operate normally by following the operating instructions. Adjust only those controls that are covered by the operating instructions. In other words, don't just start playing with every button you see and hope that it works, because some of them might be doing other things. If the video has been dropped or the cabinet has been damaged, when the video unit exhibits a distinct change in performance, like suddenly it's no longer using the flash properly, or it turns off the moment you turn it back on, kind of thing. Replacement parts. When replacement parts are required, be sure the service technician has used replacement parts specified by the manufacturer or have the same characteristics as the original part. Unauthorized substitutions may result in fire, electric shock, or other hazards. Number 19, safety check. Upon completion of any service or repairs to the video unit, ask the service technician to perform safety checks to determine that the video unit is in safe operating order. Okay, precautions, use and location. To avoid shock hazards, your digital camera and power supply should not be exposed to rain or moisture. In other words, don't take your camera out in the rain. Do not connect the power supply or operate your digital camera if it gets wet. Your digital camera has been designed for outdoor use. However, it is not designed to sustain direct exposure to water, rain, sleet, snow, sand, dust, or direct splashing from a pool, or even a cup of coffee. I love that they're so specific. This action could permanently damage the internal parts of your digital camera. Do not attempt to disassemble the unit. There are no user serviceable parts inside. Unplug your digital camera from the power supply and have it serviced. Do not aim your digital camera at the sun or other bright objects because you could damage your eye that's looking through it, right? Do not expose your digital camera to extended high temperatures, such as indirect sunlight, inside a closed car, next to a heater. This action could permanently damage the internal parts of your digital camera. Avoid sudden changes in temperature, right? So you wouldn't take it out of your extremely hot car and then suddenly decide to take pictures in your freezer or something. Moisture might result inside the unit if it's moved from a cold place to a warm place. It could work the other way around too. Do not leave your digital camera or the power supply turned on when not in use. Storage of your digital camera. Store and handle your digital camera in a manner that will not subject it to unnecessary movement. In other words, don't shake it or hit it. This, again, this seems so obvious, but anyways, your digital camera contains a sensitive pickup device, which could be damaged by improper handling or storage. To clean your digital camera, do not use strong or abrasive detergents when cleaning it. To protect the lens, do not touch the surface of the lens with your hand. Use a commercial digital camera lens solution and lens paper when cleaning the lens. Improper cleaning can scratch the lens coating. To protect the finish of your digital camera, before handling your digital camera, make sure your hands and face are free from any chemical products such as suntan lotion, as it may damage the finish. Okay, and then we've got a table of contents. There's the first section of getting started, basic operation, special features, for your information, and then some more cautions at the bottom here. Do not subject unit to strong impact during record or playback. Unit may not function normally. Do not use in extreme heat, which would be 104 degrees Fahrenheit and above. This may damage the disc. Also, in extremely hot places, remove the disc from the camera and store it somewhere else to avoid damaging the disc. Be sure to make a backup copy of important data. In other words, if you just took your wedding photos immediately, back them up to your computer. Don't just rely on your little SID card in there. Okay, now we get down to the actual questions. This is worth 20 marks overall. So you're to examine the content of the 5 pages we just looked at and complete the following questions. You will notice that the table of contents for this instruction manual is found on page 6 and not immediately following the cover page. Why do you think this is so? Your response will be at least 2 sentences in length, 2 marks. Now, I did discuss why earlier in this video. Having said that, when a question says, why do you think so? It is asking for your opinion based on both experience and evidence from the text. Look at the manual and see what came before the table of contents. Why did it come first? Remember to put your answer in a complete sentence such as, I think the table of contents is on page 6 because, okay, part B. Why is a table of contents a necessary feature in this sort of document? 2 marks. Again, there's no direct answer in the text itself. You need to give your opinion about the table of contents based on your experiences with them and any supporting evidence from the text. Section C. List any 2 of the main headings found on pages 2 to 5. They're talking about in the manual there. And for each heading, write what you believe to be the most important details given. Your response for each heading will be at least 2 sentences in length. You can't use the table of contents for this, right? Table of contents is page 6. Don't use that. Your answer should look like this. Heading, you tell me what the heading is, and then important details, tell me 2 to 3 sentences of what was most important. Heading, tell me what heading you're looking at, and then important details, 2 to 3 sentences on what was most important. So for example, again, I can't use table of contents, but one heading might be important safeguards, and then I could write 2 to 3 sentences about important safeguards, or precautions, 2 to 3 sentences about precautions. What are my other major headings here? Another one on important safeguards, safety precautions, things you should know. So those are kind of your major headings, right? Did that. Okay. Section D, the manual from which these pages have been taken is a great example of a technical document. What does this mean? Respond in at least 2 sentences. Okay, so let's talk more about what a technical document is, because it's kind of hard to explain why this is a great example if you don't know what they mean, which I didn't either. What is a technical document? Technical documentation is any document or piece of writing that explains the application, the purpose, the creation, the architecture of a product or service. For many organizations, technical documentation will help users achieve the tool's objectives, reducing customer support expenses and tickets, and enabling support teams to resolve customer queries effectively and efficiently. Technical documents will often include label diagrams showing the parts, give safety information, warranty information, customer service information, and may include a user's guide directed towards a customer. So how does the manual we've just been looking at, those 5 pages, show evidence of these types of information? Give some specific examples. Okay. E, what would you do? If you were to purchase this particular digital camera or one of a different maker or model, do you think that you would actually spend time reading through each and every page of the operating instruction manual? Why or why not? If not, what would you focus on the most? In other words, they're assuming that you're going to read some of it, in which case, what parts would you read? Respond in at least 2 sentences. So again, this is another question that's asking your opinion on the topic. You can answer based on your previous actions or your ideal actions, okay? Please do not just answer, I don't know. Make a reasoned guess as to what you would do and then explain your idea. Remember, it doesn't matter if you actually would follow through in the future. I'm not going to be following you around. I'm just looking for you to be able to explain your reasoning, right? What do you think would be the most important parts to read? Visual aids. In this manual, visual aids, including pictures and diagrams, would definitely be a noticeable feature. In what ways would visual aids be useful to a reader of any type of manual? Respond in at least 1 sentence. So think about visual aids. Visual aids might include things like a labeled diagram, photographs, drawings, charts, graphs, tables. How would any of those types of things be useful to a reader of any type of manual? Here I've included, here's a sample label diagram. This is not from the actual manual, by the way. This is just kind of a random one I pulled off the net. And they've got the picture of the camera, and then they've labeled every single little part, which is kind of useful because different cameras may have different buttons in different places. They've even kind of shown you the inside, if you open up this section, what it would look like. So that's kind of useful. Okay, warranty information. Warranty information concerning this camera is found on page 74 of this manual, as you can see from the table of contents. What purpose does the warranty serve? Respond in at least 1 sentence. I'm trying to think, is the sunny thing earlier actually from this? Hang on. I'm going to do a quick check. It doesn't actually say if that is. Hang on a second. Sorry. Okay. What purpose does the warranty serve? Respond in at least 1 sentence. Okay, so I thought they actually had, think about what purpose a warranty generally serves. The purpose of a warranty is to protect your purchase and the manufacturer. If something breaks or malfunctions with your product, the warranty will explain if your product's damages are covered and what the manufacturer will do for you to repair or replace the damaged product. Most warranties also have a certain time limit for which they will cover the item. Sometimes there are different time limits for different parts. Warranties will often list situations or parts they will not cover as well. So I thought that was a specific warranty, but I don't know that it necessarily is. Okay. Next question, index. What would you find in the index section of the manual or any other lengthy document? So this is not asking for specific information, right? Like you don't need to tell me an actual heading. It's asking for the general idea. So to answer that, think about how an index is similar to, but also different from the table of contents, because most lengthy documents will have both. They'll have a table of contents at the beginning and normally an index at the end. Why would they include both? So here's a sample index from a car manual. And you can see they've got it listed alphabetically. Accessing your vehicles, go to section 3, page 3, immobilize your system. Section 3, page 11, remote key, Section 3, page 3, smart key, Section 3, page 6. Airbag, advanced supplemental restraint system, Section 2, page 39. Additional safety precautions, Section 261. So one thing I noticed is that although this part is organized alphabetically, the numbers are not ordered numerically. They're not going from smallest to biggest. So that might be kind of a key thing to think about in terms of how an index is different and why it is different that way. Okay. Before you hand in any of this work, there's a lot of questions. Please quickly check over your work. Make sure that you've answered every item in a complete sentence rather than a one-word answer. Have you written the number of sentences it asks for? If it asks for 2, please tell me to give 2 sentences. If it asks for 3, please write 3. Also look at the marks. If it's asking for 5 marks and it's asking for 2 sentences, it means like 2 really good sentences, not 2 very simple sentences, okay? Have you labeled each question with its letter so I know which question you're answering? This sounds really obvious, but sometimes when things get sent to me, pages get mixed up. So it may have been in order when you did it, but it may be out of order when I get it. And then I'm kind of flipping through, trying to decide what question you were answering because it doesn't make sense. So if you just label it, then it's so much easier for me to fix and solve if pages get out of order, okay? Make sure that each sentence starts with a capital letter. Make sure each sentence ends with a period. There's not really going to be any need for question marks or exclamation points in this kind of writing. Is your handwriting legible? In other words, is it neat enough that I can read it? And is it dark enough? Especially if you're writing with pencil. Pencils can be very light. And often if you're taking a photograph and then it's getting sent through the computer and then it's getting printed off, it's kind of getting lighter each time, I find. And so by the time it gets to me, I may have, like, I'm looking at it and I can barely see the words. So if you're having to use a pencil, please write as hard as you can and as dark as you can with the pencil. If you're able to use like a blue or a black pen instead, that would be even better because it handles the scanning process and the copying process just a little bit easier. And of course, if you want to use a computer, that is always quite legible. Okay. A lot of information today, but I think it's actually a fairly simple assignment. We will meet up again tomorrow and look at, I think 2 assignments tomorrow, one on memos and one on letters, okay? If you have any questions about what we talked about today, feel free to shoot me an email and we'll discuss things. And I hope you have a good day.